I know it's not the new year, but it's the new year for us in the podcast. We're going to do, this year we're going to do 4, 1 a quarter. That'll be one more than last year. So, elevation is what it is. So this is the ASE LLC presents our Conversations and Cocktails with Kelda and Krew. We are at season 1, which is elevation. And this is season 2, elevation, episode 1. And so I don't get it wrong. It is being strong when things are falling apart. And I also added, or when we feel things are falling apart, because sometimes we feel things are falling apart and they really aren't. And I know that's me. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have a special guest, but first I'm going to introduce the panel. We have Barb, behind the scenes. Then we have Jana, Janine, and Monica. And our special guest is Miss Fran Woolridge Powell.
Hey, Franny.
So we want you all, yes, thank you for joining us. I'm excited it's your first time.
Thank you for having me.
You are very, very welcome. If you all get a chance, if you're looking on YouTube or when you go to YouTube later, please go to my page and
that's what I'm trying to do now.
What happened?
Go
to my page and subscribe, please. I'm trying to build up the subscribers. And so we have our signature cocktail because it's Conversations and Cocktails. So, I always do a signature cocktail. So today we have the Green Horn in a special glass. We got the Green Horn. So I want to read this a little bit. It's about this cocktail. So it says the green horn, neon green Midori stars, and it's stirred tequila from Bobby Hugel. Don't know who that is. We just got the drink. Okay. Midori and Blanco tequila are the 2 main ingredients. The whole drink is stirred. And this guy is from Houston and he owns a bar called Refuge. So this is where he sells this cocktail.
It's beautiful.
And so it also has aperitif in it, and that's what the Suze is. So it's tequila, Midori, and Suze. And that's it. And then we garnish with some green maraschino cherries. So cheers, you all.
Cheers.
It's a different taste. You might not like it, but drink it up anyway. We got wine in the fridge. Cheers.
That's good.
I changed the ingredients a little bit because the Suze is a very strong flavor. It's like Campari.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. So
these are cute, though. I'm not going to lie.
They are cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're just going to go into it.
I'm seeing.
What happened?
No, I'm just trying to see. Jen and I are not showing on YouTube, but it's fine. It's okay.
Oh, but are you on Facebook? Because you can turn it around a little bit.
Are you monitoring both?
Who's monitoring?
I'm trying to see. No, okay, Jenna, you and I are on Facebook, but not the YouTube, and for some reason I can't get that.
So we're gonna go back to being strong when things are falling apart, or when we feel things are falling apart.
Right.
So does everybody chime in and let us know, make sure you can hear us and all those good things. Because, we want to know. We got Jana and Janine on the comments. So let's get into it. So anybody want to kick it off, or y'all want me to kick it off?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me. I feel like I'm always starting. So I can give somebody. So I will say this. For me, I think it's more about when I feel things are falling apart. Things are not necessarily falling apart. Commercials. And things do fall apart. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying things don't fall apart and we just, being extra. What I'm saying is mostly for me, I feel like they are. And it's a bad habit. It's a habit that I pray about. It's what I've tried to change about myself, because anything that happens, I automatically go negative. So it's automatically bad for me. And I hate that. Just yesterday, one of my neighbors was telling me that my roof was coming apart. And I was like, oh my God. That's $10,000. I don't have that. What am I going to do? And so my mind just went down the street and around the corner and up. And so I thought about it. I was like, I think I know what he's talking about, and it's not the roof. So when I went outside and I looked, and I was like, oh, it's not the roof. It's just that one little piece. So I get it. But immediately my mind went to, what the hell am I going to do? This is going to take my little savings, and then I ain't going to have no money, and I'm going to be broke. And I mean, and I'm literally, the way I'm telling you all is how my mind went.
Well, for me, that's a natural reaction. I think
But it's
last
bad,
week
but
the
it's
wind was blowing, and
stressing
I looked in my yard, and one of the tiles came off the roof, and I'm like, I immediately like,
the whole roof got to be replaced.
I know that we got to replace this roof.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think,
but
that's
it's not a good thing to automatically go there, because you will tear your organs up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're older now, so you can't go straight to that, because it's just too much stress on your body. And so again, I have been praying, trying to stop having my mind going there like that, because it's just not good, and I don't like it, because then everything becomes negative. Ooh, you know, that thing falls, girl.
So funny that you guys said, because my mind goes to I don't go there, right?
Okay.
And sometimes when I shouldn't. So some people think I'm like uninterested, don't care.
Yeah.
And in myself, I'm internalizing it, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you internalize things, they start to build. And
so do you do that? So is it when you feel things are falling apart, or where things are literally falling apart? And then I would like to know what we think.
Feel like things are falling apart.
Okay, well that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. That's
so
good.
Even when they are, when they are, I don't know. Maybe I'm the.
So what do we think? So give us somebody come up with an example. What is falling apart?
Your health.
Okay.
No, well, I had cancer.
A lot of things.
Right. And,
okay. So
keep going to that,
okay.
But it's still, for me, it was okay. That's how I went with it.
Yeah. Okay.
It was okay. What do I do now? Right. And so it did. And then sometimes though, it gets to be, okay, now I have it, but now I have to calm all the people around me.
Yeah.
Because I'm that kind of person that I need to take care of you.
Yeah.
But when does Janine finally take that in
yes.
and go, oh my God, you got cancer?
Yeah.
The bigger picture though, Janine, to me, I think at some point you are being strong when things are falling apart, because you fought the fight.
Yeah.
When things were
falling
apart.
Attitude.
Your attitude about it. To me, I feel like you were being strong.
Mm-hmm. But what if I didn't want to be?
But you didn't want to be, but you didn't want to be.
You're forced to be. So
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So
I know you should be,
because I do like the positive attitude. But with that being said, you do have to reflect on how you feel about it.
You do,
and not. And this is just how I'm feeling about it. So not just everyone else, because how does the stress leave your body?
Right.
If you're not taking care of your feelings.
Right.
Yes.
And to go on what you guys were saying, I think I'm a little bit in the middle, because my butt will go crazy in the beginning, but after I reflect on that craziness, like, Barbara, you're going crazy. What are you going to do to get past this? And you're going to get past this. And so either you're taking it too far in your head, or if it's not too far in my head and something is really happening, I have to figure out a way to get over it, because my mind is the only thing I have left.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's true.
So Kathy on Facebook says, you're not alone in that. Mine automatically goes to the worst. And then
Kathy Moda?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Stacy House says, this is exactly why I need you to MC. Thank you.
See?
Put
me on blast. I can't back out. You ain't right, cuz. You ain't right. You ain't right.
And for me, it's a whole nother level, because when you say being strong when things are falling apart, my life could be falling apart and you wouldn't even know it.
Exactly. But are you taking care of yourself with that?
Nope.
Because you're in the mode.
Nope.
I mean, there are times, yes, but there are times to me, a lot of times you can't tell when my life is falling apart.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like, when they say, find peace in the in the time of the storm. To me, I don't think it's there. I think there's no peace when you're trying to stay strong for me. I feel like sometimes it's hard. Like, because
It is very hard.
and nobody knows. Like, it could be anything. It could be bills, it could be your life, it could be your kids, it could be your marriage, it could be whatever it is.
Whatever, yeah.
But for me, I'm going, okay. The moment I start to go down, and I'm like, oh no, you got to pick yourself back up, because you got to just keep going.
See, I go real low first, and then I eventually bring it back.
But that's what I was just saying.
And I have to ask myself, is there peace in that mentally?
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what I was just saying. You have the chaos in the beginning, but you figure out how to get past that and keep on moving.
Because you have no choice. A lot of times I feel like sometimes, because if I let myself get down, then I'm going to be down, and I refuse to be down. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just going to keep it moving.
Then, saying that, then you're not really handling it.
I'm
not really dealing with it.
I'm dealing with it, but I'm not dealing with it, but I'm not going to, because if I get sad in it, or if I get mad in it too long, I don't want to stay in it.
But the
I
only
got
way
to get out
to get through it is to go through it.
Yeah.
Because I just had this talk with my sister in the hospital, and
then
she's the same. I had to tell her if somebody's moving funky, they treating you a certain way, they say the wrong thing to you, it doesn't always warrant a reaction or a confrontation or a conversation. Sometimes you have to mentally take that damn note and keep it moving.
Yeah.
She has to learn that, because the stress is tearing her body up with her autoimmune issues. So she thinks she learned it, but she hasn't.
Right.
She's trying.
Yeah.
But that, with her disease, and then that, not learning that yet, because she's gonna learn it. I'm positive she's gonna learn it. It was wreaking havoc on her body, and it may have always been there, but until she got severely stressed is when it showed up.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I say when things impact your organs, you gotta walk away.
Sometimes you can't. I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your damn kids, your mama, your daddy. If they are causing that kind of stress, you're gonna have to cut them loose, whether it's for a few weeks, a few months, a year, whatever. Right in that moment, you're gonna have to do it.
I'm
gonna have to let it ride. Exactly.
We gotta come back.
Exactly.
Because when you can start feeling it in your body, like I did on Monday, I was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
When I start to feel a certain way, I know my organs are being impacted.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm done.
Well, I don't like things messing with my mental, so I walk away from it.
If you cannot control it, you should let it roll off your back.
Yeah, I'm like,
I had to learn that. It was hard.
Yeah.
One job I had, I was taking that anger home every damn day to my husband and my kids, and it was just, I was short with everybody. And my husband was like, look, I don't know what's going on at work. But you can't bring that home.
Yeah.
And I had to sit down and really if I lose this damn job today, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't need that shit. I don't need that.
When my work clock
I can't get there yet, because I'm like, I got to deal with this shit.
When my work clock ends, that ends. I don't bring that into my personal life.
Yeah. Jenna, you
go ahead.
Yeah. But I also think that sometimes we think that we're hiding it, but we're not.
Right.
Because you change.
Yes.
Okay, she's around, but now she's not around.
Yep.
Okay, what's going on? Now sometimes
your energy.
Or your energy's off.
Your face shows.
Your face shows. Or just you not being present.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait a minute, she's been here, but wait a minute, she's not here. So let me just check in on her.
Yeah.
And when you have that core group of people that can do that,
they
they kind of hold you. They give you the space, but then in a moment, it's like, okay, it's been too long.
Yeah.
Let me see you okay? You good? What's going on? And then that's when you release that.
Yeah.
So you got to lean on each other sometimes.
You got to have people around you that recognize when you're going through some shit that's falling apart.
Yes.
It's don't be afraid to lean on people, because those people that care about you, got two shoulders to that.
Yes.
That I mean, that's what they're here
That's
for.
where trust comes in.
I mean,
It does.
you know,
Yes, it does.
You
It
gotta
does.
trust, and it's
Yeah.
hard with that because you know you can say all day that you trust those people, and in the moment something goes awry in between those
They
individuals,
bust
Yeah.
you
they
up.
turn around and use everything
Against
so
you, yeah.
It's hard.
And so I don't, with my group of people that I have around me now, I don't ever think that.
Mhm.
But what I think is I'm not finna put my shit on them.
Mhm.
Because I know they're
Exactly.
going through shit. You know what I mean? Everybody is going through shit. I feel like everybody's shit is falling apart in one way or another, whether it's real or it's felt. You know what I mean? So I feel like, who am I to add more to that?
I don't
You
think
know?
you're adding
Right.
because we all have a little bit of something, but it's not so overwhelming that we can't help somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you need to talk, we are all here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to take that much out of your day. It's not going to cripple
Right.
you. It's not going to do anything. It's
Right.
gonna, you know, as
Going
as
back
long
to
as
the
you're not
8 minutes.
dealing with somebody that's going through something rather than somebody that's a chronic complainer. There's a difference.
There is a huge
That's
difference.
where your energy comes into
yes
to focus.
Yes.
You're pulling my energy into your negative space,
Uh-huh.
but helping somebody is different.
Mhm.
Because
That's
I think endorphins go through you when you can really genuinely help somebody.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't think that about
Yeah.
any of you guys.
I
I trust
know.
anything
Right.
that I put
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't
table
either.
right where it's at on the table.
To something that you said, Kelda, you feel like everything is falling apart for everybody. Is it life that's just happening that we're overthinking and saying, oh, now this has happened, and now this has happened, and now this has happened? But is it just life happening for people?
Yes
and
and no.
situations happening for people? And then it becomes about, okay, so now we have this roadblock or difficulty. How do we deal with it?
Yeah.
Right? And so if everything becomes catastrophic to you, then your life is a catastrophe.
That's true.
Right? And
That's
so
true.
how do you be able to balance that life is lifing
Yeah.
and this truly is a catastrophe?
Yeah.
Right?
So I think it's a little bit of both, and I'm not trying to go into politics, but I think it's a little bit of both because we are in very, very, very bad times right now. You know, and it's scary because it ain't just the people of color; it's other folks like seeing shit and shit is happening. So for me, when the other people start feeling impacts and stuff, that means shit is for real, for real.
It is.
Because it's going beyond the people that it's always impacting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But how is what is impacting them impacting you? Why are you taking on their?
I'm not taking on theirs. I'm just, and again, it's a lot of it is me, but I'm just looking at like, well, if it's gotten to that level, then shit is bananas. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I'm looking at it. But again, I'm trying. I'm trying, but it's just so hard because, and that's also a part of Leo's worry. You know, so it's also that too. So it's a couple of it's my personality, but then there's also the Leo stuff and just me because I'm a lot like my mother, and I'm always the one doing, taking care and making sure people are good, and just the other day, Lisa Conyers was here because she hadn't been here in a long time. And she came and she was sitting with my mother while I was, I got some groceries and was doing all these things. So when I was done with everything, she was like, you do a lot of stuff. And I was like, I know. and when I'm in it, I know I'm thinking like, God, I'm just doing a lot. But it's like, if I don't do it, is it going to get done?
Right.
So, okay, with that, if it doesn't get done, what happens?
Well, if it's groceries, they spoil.
Well, that's different, right? But you know what I'm saying? But
I do.
But you can put your groceries down for 10 minutes and sit down and take a minute for yourself and say, I just came in, I carried up.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Like, so if it doesn't get done, what happens? Yeah. Are you comfortable with it not being done? So some of it, because for me,
I'm not.
I have
No.
control things I need to control.
Yeah.
Right. And so, is it that you need to control all of that and feel
Yes,
better
it is.
about
It's
it?
a piece. Yeah,
And
that is
so,
a piece. Yes.
how do we recognize those things in ourselves to say, okay, how then do I go, okay, yes, I need to control this, but maybe I'll take 10 minutes for myself to sit down, breathe, take my coat off, change my clothes, do what I need to do for me first.
Yeah.
And then take care. Because if you don't
See,
take care of
I'm
you,
always at the end. Once everything is done, then I can do me. And by
But
the
if you
time
don't-
it's 11 o'clock at night, it's time to go to bed. You know, and,
if you don't take care of you, how can you take care of everything else around you?
You're gonna have to learn how to delegate.
Right.
I know. Well, I mean, so Clifton and Richie are really good. Richie, is working, and Clifton is home looking for a job and also helping with other things. And so, he's definitely when, he knows in the grocery order, he knows I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He's always, you need help. You want me to do this? You need some help. And I'm like, no, I got it.
Yep.
No, I got it. No, I got it.
And see, that's
you. It is.
You have to be able to let them help you.
Yeah.
Because
so you need to know.
You always help.
So with Barb in mind, I'll just do it myself because if it's done wrong, then I have to do it anyway.
Right.
We've had that conversation.
Yeah. No, but then it helps them.
It's done wrong.
It's done wrong.
But you also cripple them because then they don't have the opportunities to learn and do these things when they're on their own.
Willing to help.
Kevin has a comment on it. Says, I think we're so used to being strong and smiling through the mess that we know how to function through dysfunction, and dysfunction can range from finances, home health.
Yeah.
She said, I heard someone say they find comfort in dysfunction. And
I've
then
heard
she
that
said
too.
to you, facts, money.
Yeah.
But
I don't
we're
find comfort in
fixers.
that at all.
As women and the emotional side, we're fixers because we take on everything. Well, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. And I'm the nurturer and I have to do this. And if I don't grocery shop, we're not going to have groceries. And if I don't do this, then I don't do that. And sometimes we have to take a break. And people don't always understand. Sometimes you have to debrief yourself because it's too much. There's too much coming in at us. There's information about this. There's our job. There's our family. There's our friends. There's bills. There's our bank accounts. There's
but it's never
not going to change.
Away.
That's right. It's
Never
always
will.
going to be there. So you need to learn how to manage that. Like she said, when you come in and do the groceries, okay, I just carried 5 bags of groceries in this house. Let me sit down for a second. But we think, okay, wait, something's going to spoil. Something's going to get.
Well, it was so sweet because it had been sitting out there, so it really did need to come in. But Jaden was with me, and he helped bring all the groceries in. I was like, look at you. I was like, look at you. How come he bring the groceries in?
He sees it in you.
I was stunned. And then he even tried to bring the water. And I was like, look. Leave the water outside.
Understand your limitations.
Right. I was like, leave the water. But
he tried.
literally,
that's going to help him at home with his mother. So she doesn't have
never let her.
He knows as he gets older, his mother doesn't have to do everything.
That's right.
He can help her with
That's right.
So and that's that.
And I told Richie, and he was like, "Good job." And I was like, "Yeah," because I didn't even ask. He's like, "Okay, Kiki, I'll help you." And he's just bringing in the bags. And I was like, "Look at him!"
Right.
But not the little 6-month-old that was on the computer and shit,
So can I ask you, when he brought him in the bags, did you rearrange the bags how he brought them in when they came in?
No, because he was handing them to me. Because I have a whole little thing.
She rearranged it when they
You like my sister.
But no, but I had the table out that's over there. I had it here, so I put them all there and started taking stuff out. But no, he either handed them to me or he sat them on the table over there. No,
so
I
he knew the
he knows the routine.
Oh
God, he knows the routine.
You been using to bring a bag in, and he could barely carry it.
Right, exactly. He wanted to help me. I was doing something over here after that, and he was like, "Well, Kiki, you want me to help you?" Oh, I had washed the fruit off and I was putting it out to dry so I could put it up. And I said, "Yeah, you know what? Yes, you can help me." And so when I rinsed it off, I gave it to him. He put it on the table, and so you can see the happiness in his face in helping. Yeah. He does like to help a lot. So I'm trying to get, better at letting him help. But
'Cause
Barb wants to
or
say
letting
something.
everybody
I
know.
That's
I
true.
was just thinking to myself, I guess I'm the only one that had kids to really do the work. Because I'm thinking my kids are bringing the groceries in the car. I'm not even thinking,
Attempted to do
that's
it.
sweet.
Right.
No, go get the groceries.
No, that was me, Barbie. We was like, okay, I'm in the subdivision.
Right.
That was the call. Jess, I'm in the subdivision. Come on down.
That's my sister Lori. She's like,
And then he'd be like, okay, mom.
Well, I think that's the
And then they
dynamics.
come down, and I go in the house, and they bring it all in, and that's how it works.
Well, I think it you speaks to the dynamics of between daughters and sons. Because
Oh no,
well,
we do the same thing.
no, I get that, but
But there is a difference.
There is a
There
difference
is a
because I may not call my two girls to say, okay, come in and get these groceries because I'm right there where you are. So I'm down here if you want to come. If you don't, I'm not. But if I had a son, I'd be like, you need to come and get these groceries.
I don't know. Maybe my house was a little different because I don't care which one of them.
Well, no, it's not about
Simone
caring.
or Justice or
I would
any
go,
of them.
but
Come
I would
down
say
here and come
this,
get it.
right? Because
You gonna eat it? Come get it.
because as a I think we're all products of boomer parents,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So as Gen X,
Are we?
came home. We
Yeah.
had to. But
I think we are. Yes.
Or your mom's a part of the forgotten generation. She's older than
Where
a
was
boy.
your mom
What is that?
Okay.
Where was your mom
chart
born?
again?
It's older than a boy.
I got you, chart.
Something.
She's a baby
Okay,
boomer.
She's
mine is-
No, she's not a boomer.
She's not a
born
boomer. She's the
boomer.
first.
Wait,
Yeah.
when does the boomer start?
Boomers are 50.
No,
No,
my mom's
no.
a baby boomer. She's born in 47.
Really?
Yeah.
My
Yes.
mom's a
Mom is like
boomer.
40.
She's 53.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
your
she
mother
might be
is
at the end.
right before the
Oh,
boomer
but-
start. Because I remember
Okay.
we looked at it.
But
Yeah.
if we think
My
about
mother
how
passed in
we
her
grew
80s,
up,
so I'm gonna
right?
say
And
Yeah.
my father,
Right.
Yeah.
that was 20 years older than my mom.
See,
Well, not exactly.
really
20
forgot.
years.
Oh, wow.
But no,
Okay.
he's the
Cheers.
greatest.
Cheers to
to
him.
that.
Cheers to
Cheers to both.
Okay, sugar daddy.
I think it was more like 16.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, but we were, we're the generation that were unsupervised.
Girl.
We had chores when we got home.
Yep.
We had things that we needed to do. And like for me, was that expectation at home for my daughter. Right? Because I was like, all we did was work. We didn't have fun.
Yes,
we
yes,
couldn't
yes,
do
yes,
anything
yes, yes,
because
yes.
you had to come home, do the dishes. You had
Yes,
to,
yes, yes.
you had to vacuum. You had to do laundry. You were doing everything for the whole family.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't teach her how to take care of herself,
Yeah.
but I was like, she's going to be able to go here and do that. She
Yeah.
wants to hold. And, sometimes I'm like, when I do things, she just sit around because I didn't tell her. I didn't set an expectation that when mom
Uh-huh.
comes in the back door with bags, you get up and you come and get the bags.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
Yeah.
something
my
that
parents,
That's
my kids
Yeah.
say I'm strict then. 'Cause,
Yeah, me
we
too.
was
But
strict.
that's
We did
something
all
I
that.
do want to like kick myself in the ass, butt, whatever I should say on this.
Girl,
Sometimes,
say what you want, girl.
because it's like to me, I don't know, growing up our generation, growing up with the people we grew up around, and I get it, Evanston, we ain't Southside Chicago, whatever, but I mean, I just think my kids are punks sometimes. I be like,
And I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We start on one thing, and we can go on a tangent, and I'm okay with it. So if you're not, then you need to untune, because that's what we do. So I'm going to elaborate on that, and what I feel it is, I know for me, is I think about all the things I had to do, all the things I couldn't do. So I want different and more and better for my kids, and that's the mistake we made. Because we did too much. Like, we walked to Timbuktu and back.
Right.
So when we have kids, we don't want our kids to have to do all this walking. So we're dropping them off everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
I said that wrong because I did say that wrong.
The world is definitely different.
Get on my nerves when it's like,
but
you can't get on the bus.
1,000%.
You need
a
ride every day.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? You take in my car, the bus take you right here.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
I know I was on the bus.
Yes.
Or
Bus,
little things
walking,
like that.
and bikes.
But there's a difference. There's a difference. There's adult children and children.
Yes.
Right? Because, yes, our adult children should be able to take the bus, walk where they want to
Get
go,
on Metro,
go where they need to go without being afraid.
Right.
But we also have fostered a level of fear into
Yes,
our kids
yes.
of the world.
Yes.
You know, I need to know when you get there. Text me.
Yeah.
I'm tracking you.
Did
I'm
you take
doing
an
this.
Uber?
I'm all
Yeah.
on you, right?
And
Because we're
I
just
know
in
it
that
is.
world.
The times have changed. Our parents could have done that too if we didn't have to just
Right,
put a quarter in the
correct.
payphone.
Absolutely.
And be like,
Right.
Absolutely.
you know, because my mom would be
Yeah.
like, I'm like, Mom, can I go to the next step? She
The
goes, yeah,
neighborhood
but you
is
need to call
watching
me.
Yeah.
If you go, and then you got to take that quarter and call and say, okay,
Yes.
Mom, I'm
Yeah.
here,
Or when
but
you
can
get
I
to the
go
house,
here?
let me- Yeah.
Yes, so
Yes.
times have changed.
So has that
So we were
contributed to
checking
us
in.
being
That's
But
what's different.
But has it changed to the point where we think because Metra's, for the most part, safe?
So we're
I
talking two
nothing
different
is safe.
changes. You're
Nothing
talking
is
two
safe.
different changes.
Well, nothing's
I
safe,
don't-
but I
You
feel
know,
like that
I
if
think
your
there are
car,
differences.
right? If you
Yeah.
don't have a vehicle, I mean, a vehicle. Let's talk about it. It's a privilege. Everybody don't have that,
You're
so I
right.
don't want you
Absolutely.
to spend
We
be
didn't have
spending
one.
$30 a day to get back and forth to work, and the train is right here, and you can walk down a half a block. But because you put me, you can't take the train. I don't want you to get on the train. It's not safe. What are we putting into them? Because
So it's
I
not so
think
much
there's
the
a
train,
difference
it's getting
in the
to the train.
right,
That's what's not safe.
The train itself is not safe anymore. Anyway, when we were riding the train to the Taste of Chicago, to the college fair, when we
It
were
wasn't
getting
safe
on
then.
the
We
bus,
just-
right?
It wasn't safe then.
I think it was.
No, we didn't. I don't know.
It wasn't.
I don't know. Now, let's look at it. Let's look at it. If I get on that red line today, there might be 4 kids that might try to rob me. That might try to punch me.
Yeah.
Are we talking about kids?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think when we were at that age, it was
No.
kids were.
No.
Our parents set us up
West Side
pretty
all
good.
the time, girl.
All of us that had single parents or parents that worked, we had keys to our house.
Yeah.
My mother always
At
told
6.
me that part.
Man, my brother
When we were on
and
the
his
bus.
friends, you'd be right. So
If you go
that's
to the
what I
bus
think.
stop, I want you, Monica, as the oldest, to make sure if you see a car too many times go by you and your sister,
Girl,
you memorize
the
that car,
license plate,
the license
yes,
plate,
girl.
and then y'all go to the next bus stop.
Yes.
So I
And
learned how
look,
to
Miss
memorize
Mother
license
gets
plates
gang
that way.
upstairs.
But we didn't have the phone, so they're not paying
She had everybody's plate.
Right.
So
That's
you
right.
told your kids to do that now. They're looking at their phone the entire time. They're
And
not
that's the
looking at
problem.
plates and cars and none of that stuff.
And that, but see,
Yeah.
that the problem is when we were growing up, we knew about stranger danger. They were mainly
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah,
The people that trick you now are kids, our kids' age.
yeah,
So there is a big difference
Yeah.
between how they move now than how we moved back then.
And
That's true.
And we were, I think, even more aware.
Yes,
they're more
yes, we-
scared,
Yeah.
but we were more aware.
Yeah.
So it does
Because we didn't have social
Yes.
media,
Right.
impacting what we were doing because we didn't have all these phones and all that shit.
right.
So we had to pay attention. It
That's
wasn't nothing
right.
else. We couldn't walk
That's
down
right.
the street with a phone.
So
Right.
bringing that back to our conversation.
I want my kids on the train and
With-
bus now. I don't care.
yeah. Me too.
Said this real
Me
quick.
too.
I want to make one point about that. Years ago, I told my kids, I said, you know what, y'all a little rotten because there is no bus by my house.
Right.
Right.
No, right.
So
In your
unfortunately,
situation.
where the school is,
Yeah.
they either have to take the school bus
Right,
or you have
right.
to drive them. And they
Yeah.
miss the school bus. I got to leave work,
Right.
come home,
Yeah.
take them. There is no city bus.
Yeah.
One time I said, oh, y'all about to learn today because we did this. I put them kids we got on the bus and the train and we went downtown to the museum. You would have thought life was over. Like, oh my God. I'm like,
Right. Right.
really?
Hilarious.
But you want
I
that
mean,
experience.
but then at the same
You
time,
wanted
they
the experience, right.
they got you so privileged. You got your
Yes,
AirPods,
yes,
you got
yes,
the phone, you
yes,
got
your
this.
beats
And
on
you
or
just
whatever. Yeah.
oblivious to what's going
Right,
on.
your
I'm
North
like, how
Face
many you
jacket.
keep your head on a swivel
Yeah.
At all times.
at all times? What are you doing?
Yeah. You never have both ears.
That's
You never
that
have
we
both
kinda
in
grew up-
your ears.
We grew up
Always just
Evanston
one.
Hood.
Right.
You're running away.
We
but
grew
at
up.
the same
We grew
time,
up
they're like,
mid-hood.
I want to sit here. Girl,
Right.
you don't sit your butt down on that chair and
That
that bus
part.
we did.
That's how I was. I would look at everybody straight in their eyes.
Or
did
put
all
Okay, so bring it back.
but think about this stuff. Like now, I put my son on Metro train to go from our house to Evanston.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking to him
Oh boy.
at every stop. I'm like, just don't miss your stop
Right.
because he'll be on his phone and you'll be on 95th somewhere and you done miss.
Right. No, you'll be at Ogilvy Station.
Right.
You
At the end of the line.
You miss all of that stuff. I need you to pay attention. Now we may be a little over the top
Right.
because now you got them scared. I'm like,
Right.
but
You don't want
it's
fear.
still a word. It's this. It's this. It's this.
Yes.
It's this. Each one. Pay attention and then pay attention to people.
Right.
Yes.
You know what? I think
So-
it might be also the generations. Because when I say that, I have kids of different generations. I have millennials,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
guess that's what it is. And
Yeah.
I think about it, and my millennial is more like me and is tough and will get on a bus. She'll go to Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she
That's
will.
You
how
know
it
what
is.
I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
Yes,
she
she will.
has no problem where my youngest, now that's me, and I'm more like, okay, where you at?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where you
Yeah.
at?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember when Richie then went to Puerto Rico and I was like, oh my God.
But we're being strong.
Okay.
Remember.
Right.
now.
So and that's why
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
back around.
Okay.
Did how we grew up with how we were taught to be aware, to do things, independence. Did that make us the strong women we are today, the strong men that we are today?
1,000%.
But then, then
Good and bad though.
right, because then we were kids that had the weight of the world on our shoulders. And so that's all we know how to do is have the weight of the world on our shoulders. And so how do we undo that?
Or can you?
Or can you?
undo that?
Or
I think
do
you
you
can.
be? Are you
At
okay?
this age, can you
Yes,
undo
I
that?
think-
Then
I think
go
you
into
can.
Michelle Obama's book, being okay with being uncomfortable.
Right.
Yes.
Way to bring it back
Yes.
Right. But-
Yes.
And
Yes.
because to be transparent, after I went through all of my sickness and work was going great and whatever, I hit a wall.
Mhm.
Job was in jeopardy.
Mhm.
My health was still in jeopardy. I didn't know what I was going to do. Right. Then the election comes along and all I think is the world don't like black women.
Yeah.
They don't accept us. They don't want us. Right.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
So I started talking to somebody about it.
Yeah.
Because she was like, Janine, I figured you out. She goes, you need to understand and analyze where your feelings are coming from. Like you said, I'm going to be sad. What happens if you're sad?
Nothing.
What if you
It's
sit,
an emotion.
You just don't
Being
stay
your
there long.
emotion.
Yeah, it's an emotion. You
Yeah.
own it
understand
and you
where it's
move
coming
on.
from?
Yes.
And
Yes.
own it
You just
and
don't
you move
stay
on.
in it.
Yeah, you
just
don't stay in it.
Because
Yeah.
we don't want to be in the sad. And I remember telling her, well, now, because I've been sad for so long, I don't know if I'm ever going to stop crying.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Right.
hold on to it too
Yeah.
much.
So now it becomes, because at one point I was like, oh, that baby's so cute on that commercial. Like, why am I crying at the baby on the commercial? Right? But that's what happens when it builds up.
Right.
And two, like, you hold it in, nobody's helping me because you're not asking for help.
Mhm.
Or people
you're
say,
not allowing
or people say, yes, hey, can I help you? Let me help you. And you say, no, I'm
I
good.
got
I'm
it. I
But
got
then
it.
you pissed off because nobody helped you bring the bags in the house.
Right.
Right?
And nobody told
So
you to
whose
go
fault
grocery
is that?
shop.
Right.
Right.
It's
that
about letting yourself be in it.
Yeah.
Don't analyze it. It is what it is
That's right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the big thing I think my takeaway from this is know when shit is really falling apart and when I feel shit is really falling
yeah, that-
apart.
Yep.
Because there's a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So using the roof as an example again, say I have $5,000 in the bank and my roof actually really is falling apart,
Uh-huh.
and that's gonna cost me $10,000. What the fuck am I gonna do? Because now I'm taking my finances, my savings to fix this, and now I don't have no cushion.
But you're in
it's
the moment.
shit happening
You were in the moment.
Well, isn't what that was the savings was
But
for?
You were in the moment.
Right.
But
You
isn't that
were in
what
the
the
moment.
savings was for?
No, you were in the moment.
Uh-huh.
You were in the moment.
Saving it for what?
You were
saving it
in
for
the
You're taking with you.
Right.
I mean,
But you were in the moment. The in the moment meant that someone saw something that they really didn't know what they saw, and they brought it to you, and then you picked it up and like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you took the
Oh,
worst
man.
case
Oh,
scenario.
1,000%. All
And
the
so
time.
sometimes we need to say,
So,
okay, let me have somebody check it out.
And so I tried.
See
So
how
I was
long I
literally
have
talking
on
to
it.
myself. out
Yes.
because I was changing the sheets
You're
on my
looking
bed
at
when
it.
he called through
Yes.
my ring.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Yes.
said, okay,
I'm like,
I'll take a look. I said, because I'm going back out. So when I go back out, I'll take a look. But our pizza came. So I was like, let me just go out here and look and free my mind. Because my mind was on 1,000.
Absolutely.
And I kept saying to myself, Kelda, stop. Because you kind of might know what it is.
Yes.
And even if it's not, you know what? Your credit score is fabulous, so you can get what you need.
Absolutely.
You got this in the bank, so you
Absolutely.
can get it done.
Absolutely.
But then after you get it done, it's gonna be a little,
But that's
but
okay.
you can get it done. So just, so I was trying to talk to myself as I was going through it. And then when I finally went outside, so I said, oh, okay, I'm good.
It's just
Okay, party
information.
time.
But it's just information for you.
Yeah.
And that's what it's
to
trying to
add
be.
on to that, because I think we had a conversation before about happy or moments of happy or something like that. So find a way to grab the happy out of the moments, even if it is, because suppose it was messed up. To me, a happy is that you were able to pay for it. Because do you know how so many of us couldn't
don't have it, right?
And then have leaky roofs or whatever. You were able to fix that. Granted, you had to take a cushion, but build it back up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so.
But
for
so
me,
yes, but then my thought goes one step beyond that, and it's like it's gone. I had the cushion. I was able to do it, but now the cushion is gone, and the way bills are billing and shit is billing. Am I ever going to be able to build that shit?
Yes, you
back
will.
up?
Yes, you will.
I'm just telling.
It has to be.
And you made
No. Now the bills now are different.
Yes, they are.
My shit has changed in the past
Yes, they
year.
are. Yes, they are.
My shit
Yes,
has gone up $1,000.
Yes, they have.
That part.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
So you have to think about at our age, as 35-year-olds.
Wait,
35-year-olds.
Yeah, 35.
To be
I'm
honest,
35-year-olds.
groceries is costing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And I'm not even buying
Right.
elaborate shit.
Right.
I'm just buying meat and potatoes.
Right.
So
life is life.
And
And in our age, our ripe old age,
Me too.
Whatever,
I'm like, it is
whatever
what it
age
is.
we talking about.
Right.
to see some serious.
Y'all don't
That's
even
the
know
way I
that.
feel. You got
So
something
you have
now,
to. So you have to think about that. All of you, I can peg all of you because I see that everybody has a personality. Everybody brings something to this girls group. Everybody supports each other in that way. And when somebody falls down, y'all right there. Okay, what's going on? What you doing? You give somebody some space. I'm going to say it again. And then you come for that person. Okay, you ain't you. What the heck is going on? So now what we have to do is that at our ripe old age of close to retirement.
35.
Yeah, 35. We're 30
We're
years
at a
from
season
retirement.
age.
We're at a season age. We're at a season age. So at our season age, things look different because it's the half-year mark. So things look different than they did 5 years ago. So now it's closer to where we need to be. So we have to think about, okay, am I going to let this rattle me or am I going to let this rattle me? We've been through a lot. Everybody sitting at this table or behind the camera can attest to how our lives have looked. We've fought. We've been through some situations that we shouldn't have came out of. We've experienced some things that, okay, well, it wasn't all that bad. But when I tell you that we stand up strong, when we wake up in the morning, that we open our eyes and we stand up straight and strong, that's what we have to hold on to. Yeah. If we make mistakes, don't beat yourself up about that because that's not what it's about. Yeah. If we say, okay, well, if I agree with you and you don't agree with me, okay, well, that's okay. Right. Then we come to some mutual understanding. I respect your opinion and I respect my opinion. But at the end of the day, we are who we are and we need to hold on to that. It doesn't change us. I can't change your mind. I can't change your mind. I can't change your mind. But who we are is who we are. Yeah. Our children, as far as our children, we're not going to be here for them every time. So we have to equip them with everything that we can that they need. If it means you got to get on the train, broad, then you need to know how to get on the train just in case your car breaks down and you got to get to work. Okay?
Yes.
Uber don't always work if you ain't got no money.
To their defense, these are lessons that should have been addressed years ago, not now.
Maybe,
and,
maybe
and
not.
that's
Oh,
the thing, because now you're trying to impact an adult. 'Cause
Yes.
everybody's kids here is adults.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
But everybody
I-
has
And they're
room to
responsible
grow.
for their
Everybody
adult
has,
decisions.
but everybody has
I'm
room to
gonna,
learn.
Every one of my
Yes,
kids
yes,
knows
yes,
how to
I
get
agree
a
on
job.
that.
Well, yeah.
There's
Get where
room
they
to
go
learn at
and
any
they do it.
time.
Right.
We still
That's what I
learning.
said.
You
They
sit and
gotta
talking
learn.
with each other.
They
We're
can
still
learn.
learning. They
Never
have
too old to
the
learn.
capacity to learn new stuff.
Heck, we learn
Because
every day.
I'm totally different than what I was at 20 or
Yes.
30.
Mhm.
You
I
should
mean,
be.
I
We
can't
we
go
should
no
grow.
higher because Janet said I was 35.
Yes.
But I'm totally
That's right.
different.
We stick with
They're
that.
still asking. They're still asking you
Yeah.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can still deliver things
This
when
is
they're not
true.
asking
Right.
questions.
This is true. Okay.
I'm sorry. And I'm
Okay.
I mean,
I stand corrected.
I feel I gave them all the tools they need.
Yes.
They had chores.
Yes.
They knew that I'm not your maid. I'm your mother. I'm not
Yes.
your maid. And you may have a mate one day, male, female,
Yes.
whatever.
Right.
They're not your maid either.
That's
Right.
And if they don't cook, doesn't mean you don't eat.
That's
So
right.
you need to learn how to cook for yourself. You need to learn how to clean.
Yes.
You need to learn how to do all of that.
that.
All of those things. Because I'm not going to be here forever. Neither is your dad.
That's
You know, my kids used to
And
hate
I
that when
I
said
just
that,
need,
though.
I hated to say
But
it.
I
would always say
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
I would say, you know what? Mom could get hit by a bus
Oh,
tomorrow.
shit. I don't want to say that.
I did, but you know, like, I would say,
That's better than saying I'm not gonna always be
Because
here.
no, but that's
It
the
is.
truth. I am not always
I
going
would
to be
say,
here.
you know what?
Promise
So you
tomorrow.
learn how to do
Right.
these things. Yes,
Right.
you know,
We don't
yes,
know.
at a young age, you learn how to iron your clothes. Yes, iron.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
you learn how to
Not
wash
steam.
clothes. And
Not
yes,
steam.
we have a dishwasher, but
Yes.
guess what you're gonna
You're
do?
gonna wash
Is
the
you wash
dishes.
those dishes.
So we've
No.
never had one, and I'm against dishwashers.
No.
Well,
No.
you know, my
Look
thing
at you,
was,
mother. No.
here's my
I'm
thing
against
was,
dishwashers.
Yeah,
I teach you how to load it. I don't like
Right.
dishwashers.
and don't get me wrong, my kids
Oh,
were
I did.
so
Yes.
spoiled.
That's
Yeah.
just
We
they
didn't have
need a
dishwashers.
cabinet.
But I
don't
had
want
to
no dishwasher.
realize that I gotta find balance. I can't give you all these expensive things and not give you some of these cheap things.
Well, yes.
Because
Yeah.
there'll be a time where you might have all that in
There's
your pocket
common
and you can
sense.
do it.
Right.
And there's times when you don't have it, so you
Yeah.
gotta make it work.
But then,
Same
okay.
thing goes when you might move into an apartment, you might get
You might have a
real low.
dishwasher,
And if your
yeah.
apartment don't have a dishwasher,
That's right.
you better learn how to wash
Wash
your
And
dishes.
then teach them that their world is not falling apart because they don't have a dishwasher.
I was like,
Right,
that was my
that's a good
good. And
point.
for me, I
Yes,
was like,
right, I love that.
I was like, that was my
Love that.
privilege because I done washed a lot of dishes in my
Love
life,
that.
and I've
Shit,
earned it. I'm not
yeah.
gonna have time to use
I might as well work the nail
Yes,
that.
yes.
I don't know.
We're at
where
45.
everybody is.
1 minute. One
Oh,
minute.
okay.
No,
Okay.
I
That's
think
how we
I
do.
think our
Thanks,
kids
Mark.
are
Sorry.
they're pretty
There's 1 minute.
they're pretty
Okay.
good. I just think that, I don't think my kids knew what our finances were because it's not their business. Their
Right.
children.
Yeah, they
No,
So
never.
they didn't want for anything,
Right.
but I also needed them to know money doesn't grow on damn trees.
Yes.
No, you
So
got that right.
if you want something, you have to work for it. You and your dad work hard for everything that we
Yes.
have, and
Right.
everything that we give you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you get to a certain age, you
No comment.
you do need to work, and
No.
you need to understand the value of that dollar. And people just don't give you
Right.
things.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's everything is earned.
Right.
So I mean, they learned that. Thank God.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
fabulous
But-
kids.
I just think that as us as a whole, as Black women in general, I don't take focus on what's going on in the world today because bad times for us come in streams
And
and they come in cycles.
Yeah.
So we know how to maneuver and get around it. So this is nothing new.
Right.
This doesn't impact me because this is not anything I didn't see my grandmother do, my mother do, my aunts do. So all you have to do is learn how to go around it.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yes.
We're gonna always figure it out. But if we dwell on what they're putting in our ears to fuck with us,
Yeah.
then we fall. Then we fall. I ain't falling. Y'all can have y'all. I don't care what y'all do. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing.
I have that conversation with Miss Kelda all the time.
Yes.
All the time. It's like, to me, we're of this age, and I have been through so much that there is
Mhm.
nothing you could put forward in front of me that I don't think I can get past.
Yeah.
Losing a job, get another one.
You can.
get somebody else.
Absolutely.
I don't
But do
know
we-
what I'm gonna
but
do,
do
but
we-
I'm
yeah.
gonna figure it
Do
out.
we understand our mothers and our fathers better now that we
I
now that we
definitely
live life?
I definitely do.
And
My mother was a
understand
single
why
parent
we
for a
had
long
to
time.
move in the
Yes.
space the way we did.
Yes.
And so I think that's the one
Yes.
thing that I now realize, because we always say, "Well, I lived it, and when we were kids, we're like, I don't care if you lived it, I want to live it."
Yeah.
But we also now you have this kinship
Mhm.
as an adult with the people that raised you, your
Yes.
mother, your father, your
Yes.
grandmother, your aunts, your
Mhm.
uncles, the lady that lived next door.
Yeah.
You understand the safety that came from having that
Yeah.
village and community.
Oh my
That
God.
created this
amazing.
Oh my God. We
strongness.
need to go
that
back
we
to the
have.
villages.
Yeah. But it just, but it still does mean, but going to that, they leaned on their village.
They
Yeah.
did. They 1,000%.
So we need to learn
And
how
I saw
to
that.
lean on our village.
Yeah.
We have to
When we
create it.
need it. Exactly.
And that even is when I need, we don't live close to each other,
Mhm.
but we do.
Close enough.
We've had made it a point now that if something is going on, we call each other.
Right.
And I have even had to learn to say, you know what, let me pick up the phone and talk to this person or that person, or tell them I'm going through something, because I am not alone.
Yes.
Right.
And so we all have to remember that we are not alone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so when you're sitting in your chair, oh, my life is over. What am I gonna do?
Right.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if you
So when you
keep it,
feel things are
Yes.
falling apart,
You and
I knew that was coming.
I wish I would see why.
There's so many
It's true.
things though.
But she's
It's
stepping from
true.
side to
You know what?
side.
Though, there's so many things that people say or whatever that I'm like, it's not for me. I can't internalize that. Like people internalize some of the smallest things,
Yes.
and they're turning some of these tiny
mountains
little
into
things.
mountains. Yes, molehills
into
into mountains.
And I'm like, I can't give that my energy. I just don't have the
Well, that's
capacity.
But you know what?
I
You should
can't.
be. You should be
I
honest
don't.
enough with your friends to say, "Hey, you're turning a mole."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and for the person to
stuff like
accept
that,
it.
I'm like, something that's so small,
Mhm.
you're making so
It
big,
doesn't-
and
right.
you're trying to suck me into that,
Right.
and I can't.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to trivialize what someone's going
Right.
Well,
on.
no, I'm saying,
Right.
I'm
But
I'm
then you
saying
still have to
something
say,
like,
"Look,
you
stand back."
move this from here to here,
Right.
and you putting a lot of energy.
Put your damn necklace on, girl.
Right,
I ain't
right,
$1,000 for that.
So been out of shape about this.
Right.
Wait.
Now she's so been out of shape about this. I'm like, girl,
Yes.
there's bigger things that we have in our lives
So,
than
but
to
then-
talk about this
Right.
this necklace.
But that's when you say,
I don't say it to them, but in my mind, I'm
that's
like,
it's
I
like,
can't.
what's going on?
But that
Yeah.
speaks to us also being able to say something
Yes.
without being
Judged.
judged
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah,
without
for
being
sure.
made to feel like
Taking
because
offense
Like you're
and-
taking
offense, so because
yeah, look at this is your girl
Yes.
telling you.
I'm telling
Look, this
you,
is what this
so
is.
listen to
It's
me.
constructive.
But
It's
yes,
not, it's
yes,
not
and
personal.
and
It's not
it's
malicious.
just because I care about you.
That's right.
So if I'm
That's right.
telling you something, don't lash back at me and just say, okay, I received that. Let me listen.
Mhm.
Okay, let me
But
process.
then, so
received
it
that.
is.
Kelda, I received that you gave me this beautiful, magnificent,
I got mine on.
Wait,
but my thing's not working.
and I appreciate it, and I am wearing it. Don't be mad at
We
me.
got the lit up side of the table, the unlit side.
Oh, you see how that works?
We're lit.
You
see how that
Unlit.
Yes, 1,000%. But we also have to understand how people receive things.
Absolutely.
Right.
And allow people to take in what we receive, what they receive, and then maybe it's not in that moment, but they'll come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we and that's a part of recognizing everybody
Right.
that you, because not just us, but people out there recognizing your circle, how your people deal.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And no, I mean all of y'all know me well enough to know when I'm tripping.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I appreciate it. And Barb often is the one like, girl, okay, listen. I just don't view it like that because it's this and this and this. And so her comment like that, it's like, well, yeah, that is true. You know, so we need to be honest with each other,
Mhm.
but also allow each other to be who we are
Yeah.
in
And
the
honest with
moment, and
ourselves.
then circle
Yeah.
and circle back.
And
you
honest
know?
with ourselves.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
my
Because
last
sometimes we're not.
right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're
Yeah.
like, okay,
No,
well,
yeah.
you know, I really ain't feeling that, but I am feeling
Right.
that
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta let people wallow in their stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you also, you know, final comment for me is love is not malicious.
It
No.
definitely isn't.
Ooh, love is
And
patient.
so-
Love is kind.
I love
That
Yes.
if you know I love you
Yes.
and I have something to say to you,
Yeah.
and you may be hurt in
Yeah.
the moment because I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
My love for you is not malicious.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah,
so
I like
always
that.
remember that,
I like
right?
that.
Especially if you love your
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah.
Right? And take it that way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't want to hear this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it
Right.
to you.
Yeah.
Because I love you.
Yeah.
Right?
Going
Yeah.
to say it.
She's always gonna say it.
All right.
She's always gonna say it.
And realize
I
it's
do want to kind of just one thing and then be
Okay.
my ending to circle back on what Janine said about touching base with your parents and how they felt and all of that. I just want to say I'm constantly apologizing to my mom. Mom, I am so sorry if I did this when I was younger. I am so sorry. And not sorry because I try not to say sorry. So I
Yeah. I apologize. Yeah.
Forgive me.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm constantly
Yeah.
realizing I'm saying that to her now because it's like
Yeah.
I'm
Woo,
my
you're
kids are
living
at
it.
the age
Yes.
of where I was driving her crazy, they
Right.
driving me crazy,
Yep.
and I'm looking at this like, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah.
I
Girl, I'm telling you. So what I wanna say is there are, for everybody, is certain levels of things falling apart. Literally.
Mhm.
And then there is a whole higher level of things falling apart mentally,
Mhm.
how we feel. So I think the best way to deal and move forward is to start really looking at what we're feeling is falling apart, what we're thinking is falling apart, and make sure it's not just a feeling versus something really falling apart.
Right.
Because if something really is really falling apart, then it does need to be addressed, and you try to figure it out or get people around you that's necessary to get it done. But then if it's what we feel is falling apart, then we need to do some self-reflecting and, talk to somebody. I mean, I was just recently told, after I was kind of talking through some of the things I do, like, Kelda, you need to talk to somebody.
I love
And I-
a therapist.
And I was
Nothing wrong
like,
with
I
that.
know I do need to talk to somebody. And I'm going to. Like,
Make a
I'm like, I
commitment.
do. I
You need to
do.
make a commitment to somebody that will hold you to that commitment. Because I was the same way. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I need to talk to somebody. I need to
Okay.
talk to somebody. Somebody finally said to me, I need you to come back to me in 2 weeks and tell me that you made an appointment with someone.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
until you making a commitment to someone else
I like that.
that you're gonna do, you need somebody to help make you, like, help keep you
Yes.
accountable.
Yes.
Because for me,
Yeah.
it was and I think I internalized things so much. My problems aren't that big that I need to go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
They were, and they are.
I always say I think everybody can benefit from some couch
It's
time.
just somebody
I'm
you're
sorry.
talking to
Well, you
that
have
is
to.
not
It's different
in your
perspective.
circle
Yeah.
and
different
can
perspective.
give you an honest opinion of
Yes.
what they
It's
see.
different
Yeah.
And
perspective.
they're
Yep.
professionals.
So-
Because
Yeah.
I'm not a social worker.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because we can
Wrap it
give
up.
you what
Yeah.
you think that you want to
Yeah.
hear, and
Yeah.
somebody else
We can
that's
wrap it up.
outside of your circle,
Mm-hmm.
then that gives you a different
it
perspective.
definitely
You need to
does.
always hear different perspectives on things.
It's
So,
different.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's my final
All
thought.
right. Any other final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No.
Y'all done?
If you can't control it, let it
Let it
roll
go.
off your back.
That's
That's
right.
I
right.
love that.
Because it's going to
Get
happen
off
anyway.
your shoulder.
Yeah, it's going to happen anyway.
Be a duck.
I
Right?
love that. I got to get better at being a duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I should know better.
It's okay.
That's the inside
It's
of me.
unnecessary stress.
Yeah, it is.
Under
It
stress.
definitely is.
It's going to happen anyway.
So I hope you all, and even in our tangent walking, you all got some things out of this, out of the conversation about being strong when things are falling apart. And my little tidbit, being strong when we think things are falling apart. I always love the conversations that we have, and I love the tangents. I love the tangents because, like, real stuff comes out in the tangents for me. So that's why I don't stop them. I don't mind. I like for us to circle back, but I don't mind the tangents. And I have said before, I'm pretty sure I said in the Winter White, that we are live for a couple of reasons. One being, I don't see paying for studio time when the setup we have, we can take it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We were at Barb's house. We were at Nephew's house. We're here now. I was in the yard one time. We're going to be in the yard in June. We don't have the subject yet, but we're going to be in the yard in June 14th. And I just like the mobility of it. So right now, this is where I feel it needs to be. Again, it's going to be quarterly. And bless you. And so, again, bless you. And so that is just what it is. I mean, there's probably hella bloopers. If we were on TV, they'd probably be beeping and blooping and all that kind of stuff.
It's
but
real.
Not anymore.
I love the real.
Right.
I love, and that's important to me because I'm an honest person, and what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel about this podcast. So we're going to end now. Barb,
And who's this robot?
see.
And now, social producer.
Right.
And now, time for a commercial break.
Yeah, right.
And a word from our sponsors.
So this podcast, Conversation and Cocktails with Kelda and Krew, is brought to you by ASE Events LLC.
And how do we spell that?
We're not doing that. It's Kelda spelled backwards.
Right.
Kelda here is spelled backwards. And we're not just about podcasts. The main focus now is women empowerment and mental health and stuff. And it just kind of evolved, and where I can do events, all kind of planning and stuff. I just feel like in this day and age and where we are mentally, physically in the world, however you want to look at it, mental health is important and empowering women is important. So that's the focus, but holler at me. I can do whatever you need me to do.
Yes.
And if I can, I have sense enough to know that I need to bring people in. I'm not trying to be a martyr and take stuff on. So yes, and be there for your people. Use your 8 minutes. Y'all know the 8 minutes. If you don't know, go to my YouTube site. There is one. Our very first podcast was about asking for 8 minutes from your peeps. So that's it. That's all. Did I get it, Bob? Am I good? All right. Well, thank you all. We appreciate you, and we will see you in June.
Yes.
So peace out. Bye bye.
Have a great spring, everybody.
Cheers. I need to make some more.